What is up, guys? So we're going to talk about current events, what's been going on, what's been happening on YouTube, what's been happening with the latest rising star, the new boxing promoter on the scene, Turkey a la Cringe, is riding these waves of success all the way to the top. And I thought, you know what, seeing as I've been sunning him online for the last couple of months, I thought it's only right that I step into his father's shoes and give him some fatherly advice and just be a father figure, because I feel like he's been lacking that in his life. You can tell with his ignorant opinions and his very childlike mind. He's very immature. So today I'm going to give him some fatherly advice. Now, as we all know, JDP has embraced his role as a lolcow, as a new boxing promoter. He's even gone out, got himself a couple dusty laptops, a packet of pens for some reason, a microphone, and he's got his sense set up. It looks like he's sat in HMP Hull, but he's got a new setup, a new backdrop. He's out there making moves. He's even got a big old fake cigar and a Napoleon Dynamite suit on. When I saw him sat there in that suit, I was half expecting him to say, "Freaking sweet." "What are you doing today, JDP?" "Whatever the heck I feel like doing, gosh." He looks like Napoleon Dynamite. If you haven't seen that movie, go and watch it. It's absolutely hilarious. It's probably free on YouTube now, actually. But that's what it looks like. It's about a dog, Napoleon Dynamite, who's goes to high school, and it shows you all the struggles of high school, and then he gets invited to prom, and he's like, "Oh, I've got to get a new suit." So he goes to like a second-hand shop and buys this big ridiculous tuxedo, and it looks just like JDP. So yeah, he's sat there in his new tuxedo. He's embracing this role as a lolcow, which a lolcow these days, you can profit from it. You know, you can make tons of money from being a lolcow. Look at Wings of Redemption. Look at Boogie 29118. Well, maybe not Cyrax the Troll, but they do a podcast called Lolcow Live, and they make fun of these big fat guys. They're like 500-pound guys. They actually had a boxing match. It looks ridiculous. Just go and Google it. Wings versus Boogie boxing. There was like 1,000 pounds in the ring, but it's profitable now. Actually, there's a bit of controversy around Wings of Redemption. He lost his shit a bit last night and pushed his missus down, so he's going to get some backlash. But they're making tons of money because people can laugh at him. And there's loads of lolcows out there. But the thing is, lolcows, you've got to do it right. If you're a lolcow, is somebody who people laugh at. You know, they don't know that the lolcows, and that's the joke. That's what's funny about it. They think that people like them. People are enjoying the content, but they're not. They're laughing at them. But with Jake, it's not like that. You know, he knows that he's being a lolcow. He knows he's being silly and playing this role. So it's not really going to work. And you have to, like, as his father, I have to stand in and say, yeah, you might be getting a few extra views, you might be making £20 extra a week or something, I don't know. But at what cost? And it seems like he ain't got anybody really around him to pull him back and say, "Mate, what are you doing?" Because he's now playing this role, you know, a boxing promoter, getting all dressed up and acting silly. He's getting tons of hate online, he's doing reaction videos which are boring as hell, and he's just getting laughed at. And you have to, like, being a lolcow, you have to sacrifice all your dignity, your respect, everything to be a lolcow. It's kind of like being a beggar in town. You know those beggars, what you see in town, they can make hundreds of money. I've never begged myself, but I've been around beggars. They can make £200-300 a day, especially the women. But they have to sacrifice everything to be there. You know, the whole family could walk past while they're sat there, and they're begging, and they're going to forever be known as a beggar from the streets. So they have to sacrifice all the dignity, all the respect, all the, you know, everything good. You have to, like, throw all that out the window so you can beg and be known as a beggar, and you will make some money, you will profit, but you will forever be known as that beggar from the street. And it's the same thing what JDP is doing. He's making a right tit of himself, and you have to ask yourself. Look, I think it's funny. You know, I commend him for doing it. I've always said that he could never do that. You know, I've always said he thinks he's too cool for that, but he's actually doing it. He's gone out, he's bought all this stuff, he's playing a role, So it is entertaining, but it's at what cost? You know, he's going to be known as that knobhead online. Like, if people see him in the street now, they'll be laughing, saying, "Oh, that's that fucking idiot online," you know, and they'll be like whispering behind his back, and the step too far for me was the Brett May poster in the background. It's like, come on, mate, fuck it out. What are you doing? He's sat there in a fucking cringe suit with a big silly cigar with a picture of Brett May in the background. Bro, you're going to be known as that guy now forever. Zero respect. You've got no respect from anyone. You're just a laughing stock, mate. And yeah, you might be earning a little bit of extra money, but it's really not worth it. So yeah, as JDP's father, I've got to step up and I've got to say, Jake, come on, mate, fix up, look sharp. We get it, you're playing the little role, and I'm sure at the end of it you'll say, "Oh, I've got your pants down," and all this stuff. And you always used to say to me, "Look at the kip of you." Well, Jake, look at the kip of you. What are you doing? You're sat in a suit with a couple laptops, with a silly backdrop, well, it looks like a prison cell, with a poster of Brett May behind you. Give your head a wobble, give your head a shake. And move on. But I suppose he has got a few extra subscribers. He has made him more interesting. It's made me watch an extra couple seconds. But the thing is, he's got no banter. He's not funny. His reaction videos are all the same. As we all know, it's just the same generic, boring insults what we've heard 1,000 times before. And he says the same stuff. "Oh, you're a liar, you are." And then he'll play a video with somebody, and then he'll prove why they're a liar. And it's so crap and boring. So if you are going to be this lolcow character, then you've got to step it up. You've got to get some jokes in. Watch some old school battle raps. That's what I do. Get a few jokes from that. But yeah, I can't see. I don't think it'll last anyway, because it never does. And if you're just playing this role, you can't play it forever. It's going to end eventually, but I suppose you could find another one. But anyway, yeah, it's funny for now. I don't think it'll last. And now you're going to be forever known as that divvy online who worships Brett May. Who else we got? Oh, old Munkenstein. I may have he made a video for telling me to keep his name out of my mouth. I might have took it a little bit wrong. He was having a laugh, but that's what happens, you know, when you've lived my life as an addict. You know, I've been in active addiction for years on end, and in that life, people are always trying to screw you over. People are always trying to take you for a div, you know, insult you, make fun of you. So sometimes I'll text them the wrong way. I don't mean to do it, you know, I just can't help it. It's the defense mechanism, the defense systems come up when somebody it's damage from long-term addiction. Well, I'm sure people will be able to relate to it. And like now, if somebody's nice to me, I don't know what to do, you know. I feel like they're up to something. Like, I get it all the time. People message me, especially on TikTok, and they'll message me and say, "Oh, I've had offers for podcasts, documentaries, offers to go out and have food and, you know, meet people." And straight away I'm thinking, what are you up to? You know, why are you being nice? Why do you want me to do a documentary? Why do you want, you know? And the defense has come up. I wish it wasn't like that, but it is, you know, and I can't help it. But I am trying to overcome it. But yeah, Munkenstein, I took it a little bit the wrong way. I do admire somebody like that who's not scared to laugh at himself. You know, he's going around hunting for Brett May. It's hilarious. So go and subscribe to Munkenstein. What else we had? Hedgehog Man. Well, I can't remember what video he put up yesterday. Was it Andy Smith? Oh, Andy Smith. I feel a little bit sorry for him. You know, he's just as cringe as Jake, isn't he? It seems to be like those two are like teamed up together because they're both very similar. They both got childlike brains. They both talk about, you know, think it's cool, drug dealing and all that sort of stuff. But is he the same guy who sang for Decade that time when Craig like dubbed over it with a funny song? What was the song now? My mama don't like you, she likes everyone. I couldn't get that fucking song out of my head. It was awesome. And is that guy? I think it is, I'm not too sure. But yeah, anyway, yesterday I watched, right, and it's on Freeview now for free, a movie called Papillon, Papillon, and it's a prison movie. I've seen it before ages ago, and I remember thinking, it's a good movie, this. But I rewatched it again yesterday because it was on Freeview for free, and I forgot how amazing it was. Such a good movie. It's a really old movie. I don't usually watch old movies like that because I just can't get into them. But this one was really good, and I watched it the whole way through, which is always a mark of a good movie for me, is if I don't turn it off like after 10 minutes. But they did what they always do. They made a remake of it, which is pretty crap. It's on Netflix now, the Papillon remake. The original's got Dustin Hoffman and Steve McQueen, and it's such a good story about a guy fighting the system. He gets lifed off for something he hadn't done. And he has to go to prison, and he's always trying to escape, and he takes this little Muppet under his wing, but this little Muppet's got loads of money, so people are trying to kill him, so he pays him for protection. He tries escaping, and then they torture him in a silent room. It's a really good movie, really good story. It loses its way a little bit, whether he ends up living on an island with like native women, which is a bit silly, but overall, really good movie. But it's got to be the original. The remake is the guy who played, I forget his name, is it Remy or something? He played the lead singer of Queen in that movie, Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah, I think his name's Remy. He's a good actor, and his the other main guy who plays Papillon in the remake, it's him from that biker series, Sons of Anarchy. He's a good actor, but it's just not as good. The original's just so much better. What else did I watch? Prison movies. I love prison movies. I think the best one has got to be Shawshank Redemption. That is a classic. It's not only a good prison movie, it's a good movie overall. It's really good. Scum's a brilliant movie. That's really quite a disturbing movie because it's true. That's what the Borstal system was like back in the day. I was lucky because I came along just after, and when I went to a prison that was a Borstal, it just changed. They were still ran it as a Borstal, but it was nowhere near as violent. The screws weren't violent. You had to call them sir, and they would stand for no violence. Like if you got into a fight, you just get shipped out. I'm lucky I didn't get shipped out because I got a black eye in there. But yeah, Borstal, that movie Scum is such a great presentation of what prison was like. Borstal was like. It was brutal, and the screws used to beat up the inmates. Because a Borstal is a young offenders, people under 21, so most of them are just kids, and everybody's got a point to prove. Everybody's fighting, people getting stabbed, racism, blacks versus whites, and then the screws would set people up. There'd be a daddy of the wing. I remember when I went to that Borstal, there was a guy, and it was unbelievable how he looked just like the daddy from Scum. I forget his name. I can see him now. I think it was Leroy or Clark or something like that. And I remember the first time I spoke to him, he gave me a pack of burn and said, "Hey, make a smoke, and we'll share it." So I pulled my backy out and made one, and he says, "What's wrong with my burn? What's wrong with my burn?" I says, "No, mate, we'll smoke mine." It's kind of like a way to get talking kind of thing. But yeah, Scum, brilliant movie. Really, it's hard to watch as well. There's a scene in that where everybody talks about, the pottery scene where he gets graped in the potting shed, which I always say, like, that sort of stuff doesn't really happen in the UK prisons. I'm sure it does. I've only ever seen one example of it in my time. A kid called Miller who got attacked by his cellmate, knocked him out, plied him with Valium, and when he was passed out on the bed, he just pulled his pants down and took his cheeks, and then he got moved to our wing, which was in Doncatraz, and everybody used to take the piss out of him. That's how brutal it is in prison, you know. This poor kid gets fucking raped by his cellmate, and everybody's laughing at him. And every time he walks past people, he go, yeah, because that's how brutal it is on the prison system. But yeah, Scum, really good movie. And there is a scene, another scene in it where the kid's getting bullied, which I've seen this before, you know. It's not just like bullying, it's really bad, relentless bullying, you know, running up behind people, smacking them in ribs and in kidneys when they're not looking, and throwing apples into the back of their head, and going in the cell and shitting in the bed and pissing on all the stuff. And it's really, really bad bullying on the YOs. I don't know if it's still like that, but it's pushed, you know, if you're not built for that, then if you don't know how to act, you don't know how to conduct yourself, then you could end up killing you. I've seen kids kill themselves because they're getting bullied so bad. And there's a bit in that Scum movie where it shows you perfectly the reality of it, and he's getting bullied, you know, the screws are bullying him, he goes to the screws, they start giving him a few digs, telling him to sort your head out, fix up, look sharp, and it ends up he can't take it, and he sits in his bed, gets his razor blade, cuts his wrist, and you can see blood pooling around him. It's a brutal scene. I can't watch it, because I've seen people commit suicide. My cellmate did it, cut his own neck. Imagine that. 1 o'clock in the morning, buzzers on, I wake up, and there's a dude with a razor blade, blood all over the cell because he cut his own neck, and I'm locked in there with him, you know. And that's what it's like in prison. That's why it does me in when you get knobheads like JDP going, oh, I was a prison assassin, and, you know, telling stories of how great it is and how tough he is and all this shit. It's a load of bollocks. He would have got terrorised in a proper hardcore prison, you know, just for his attitude alone. People go around like doing what he's doing, saying what he's saying, they'll just get smacked up, and that's what it's like in prison. But anyway, that's the 15-minute mark. Bit of a mixed bag today, you know, prison story, suicide mentions, talking about the turkey a la cringe, Mr. JDP. And listen, I've got no animosity towards Jake. You know, I come on here, have a laugh. It's never nothing mean or nasty. It's just calling people out on their behaviour. So, yeah, I hope Jake does do well on his new career path as a locale. But you've got to remember, this is for life. You know, these few extra views what you're getting, because you're not blowing up. You're not getting like tens of thousands of views. Because, you know, if there's a proper locale, like I keep saying it, Wings of Redemption, he makes tons of money. You know, he can make a career out of it. He can retire because of how much money he's making. But you're not. He gets like, you know, 70 to 100,000 views, whereas you're getting, I don't know what views you're getting now. I'm sure it's around 2,000 or something. I don't know how much that is because I'm not monetized, which I really need to sort that out at some point. But is it worth it? I don't think it is. So you have to think about that. But anyway, that's the video for today. If you like this video, press the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. March 2, YouTube, March 2.